So we are back, and today we are actually going to discuss a very special session. It's for me even it's the first time I actually will listen to this presentation. We are joined from Kentucky by Robert Connor from Global Venues, who's going to actually be presenting VR and influencers. Robert, please
Yes.
educate me in 2 minutes before you start your presentation. VR and
Oh,
influencers.
right. So obviously VR is a new space, a growing space, and we're going to see a lot of the trends that we're familiar with online, anything from social media to just anything that we're familiar with online. It's starting to pour into VR. And as VR is a new space, and as the hardware improves, we are improving content along with it. And one of those avenues is specifically with virtual avatars and mixing what we're capable of doing with special effects and artificial intelligence to take a modern twist on the influencers, where people don't necessarily have to put their true identities out there. They can create their own avatar.
Well, that seems very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to your presentation now. And we will, if you want, have a few questions just when you end. You still have around 25 minutes, so please, you go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. All right, hi everybody. My name is Robert Connor, and it is a pleasure to be here. I want to thank everyone who's on this call with us right now, and a special thank you to Mr. Chams for setting this incredible event up and giving me the opportunity to speak. I am going to provide a quick summary about me, and then as well as my company and what we're doing. So I was born in Sweden. I was raised in America. That's in America. I absolutely was in awe of and fell in love with all of the films and the movies. I knew nothing better than going to a movie theater and seeing all the cool stuff coming out. The TV shows just always blew me away with the special effects and yeah, just the cutting edge cinema altogether. It just stuck with me, and I'm really happy that it did. It was my dream to work with movies, but there were a few reasons that I wouldn't pursue a movie career in Hollywood. And one of those is simply the slim chance of making it. That's a true statistic. The percentage of people who make it in Hollywood are low, and I simply did not want to become a statistic. And not that there's anything wrong with waiting tables whatsoever. I knew I didn't want to go out and possibly fail, as so many people, even extremely talented and gifted people do in Hollywood. I didn't want that. I just wasn't willing to take that chance because there are far too many people taking that chance. I was also taught the American way that work meant to do something to make money, not to do something that you love, something that you're passionate about. And so I learned the hard way of, working with something that I wasn't truly passionate about. So at 21, I started up my first company doing hurricane protection in Naples, Florida, for these giant mansions and making great money. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the economy crashed in the middle of me doing that, and I lost absolutely everything. I mean, everything. I had invested everything back into my company, and for no fault of my own, due to a bunch of shady practices in the housing market, I took a hard hit and a big lesson in life. So that's when I decided that I would never do something only to make money again. I would do something that was going to make me happy and hopefully make other people happy in the process. And of course, if I could be a positive impact to society, that would be a bonus on top of that. Um, so I moved to Sweden. Went back to see kind of where I came from. Wanted to get in touch with the culture that I barely remembered. And I went ahead and attended Stockholm Film School. I'd heard a lot about this school. And I have a funny story. The dean at the school, he met with me, and I explained to him that my goal was to learn the language of cinema. I was already working with, making my own commercials for my company. I had a little green screen, do-it-yourself studio in my house where I was just having fun and putting videos together. But I told him that I really needed to learn the language of cinema because I was going to take that language and adapt it for virtual reality. And so a few days later, I get a call from the dean, and he tells me that he will accept me to the film school under one condition, and that is that the words virtual reality were never to come out of my mouth again. That this was a film school, and that is what I was there to learn, was film. So I was very cautious about learning the language of film during the days, and then at nights and the weekends, that's when I was filming everything I possibly could in virtual reality. And now that dean is just one of my biggest fans. He's become a mentor to me, so it's a great story. But during that time, I really did have the one goal in mind, and that was to be one of the first VR filmmakers in the world. So at that time, there were not any VR cameras. I built my first VR camera with 2 DSLR cameras and fisheye lenses. The 2 cameras allowed me to have my first virtual reality movies in 3D. I would write these stories for 180 degrees in the front, 180 degrees in the back. I would have the action in the front and the back obviously working together simultaneously, and I would film them on separate occasions with the exact same lighting, very specific sound, and I would then stitch it together. And I believe that I am one of the first, if not the first, filmmaker to produce a cinematic VR film out of at least Europe. So after that, that's when I could finally get my hands on a professionally made VR 360 camera. And that's when things started to take off. I filmed the first boxing match ever in VR with a Swedish Olympian. I made horror movies and I made comedies in VR. And I focused on healthcare and education. The healthcare virtual reality that I created was that's a neat story. I was asked by a university in Sweden if I could create content for people in hospice who were no longer allowed to go outdoors. So I went ahead and I created a 360 experience. I called it life. I wanted the people to be able to go back to being a child, to go back to the feeling of being on a playground again, the feeling of the connection with a parent. I wanted them to remember what it was like to see a sunset and to be around animals, and just to give them everything I possibly could in 15 minutes, to give them the experience of life one more time before they lost theirs. And it's exactly what I did, and it was really moving to see these people. They didn't want to give me back the VR headset. They would take the headset off throughout the experience. Tears would be rolling down their face. And they were all so happy afterwards. So I was very, very happy to have that experience, and that has led me into actually the field of healthcare with virtual reality as well, when I saw just how impactful that was. And that wasn't even an interactive experience. That was 360 3D experience. So we're very involved with the healthcare industry now due to that. I also focus on virtual reality for education. Created a proof of concept, tested it throughout schools in Sweden, specifically on problematic classrooms with learning disabilities and behavior issues, and the results were phenomenal. The kids were immersed in the content. They weren't able to bother each other. They were following the story. They remembered parts of the story that I didn't put in there for any specific reason other than I thought it was entertaining. But they connected with the story on such a level that the teachers were kind of in shock that these children resonated with the content as well as they did, and the quiz they took afterwards, that they weren't missing a beat. It was very exciting. So we're also very focused on VR in education. Then I was asked by the Royal Swedish Opera if I could film a ballet in VR. Now, I had never seen a ballet before in my life. I knew nothing about ballet, but I knew VR. So I told them, of course, if you want something done in an interesting way in VR, I can do it. And I'm very happy I took that on. That VR ballet experience ended up being featured at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. at Cannes Film Festival, over 50 film festivals worldwide, and then I was even nominated in Venice Film Festival for that piece. So this piece was amazing to be able to do, and the doors that it has opened up for me and our company is truly incredible. For example, just talking with you guys now, I feel like obviously everything stems from what you've done in the past, but this piece in particular was very special. So it's allowed me to partner with some of the best special effects studios, actually the best in the world, and that comes out of Sweden. I have to be kind of cautious in all the details right now, sharing too much, but I can say that you've absolutely, if you watch Netflix, if you watch HBO, if you watch any modern cinema or TV, you've seen their work. And the network that it's opened up across New York City, Los Angeles, just with fantastic studios there, with tech heads in Sweden and across the world, and Egypt, all over the place. This project really put us on the map. So our company is a VR production powerhouse. We're focusing on different pillars that will change the future. Our model of modern day storytelling using this cutting edge technology has positioned us, again, to partner with these top special effects and tech companies. It's also led us to focus on an extremely exciting new pillar, which is, of course, esports. And the way that we're combining our proprietary software, esports, and VR to create a new wave of digital avatars that are truly cutting edge is without a doubt one of the most incredible projects I've been involved with so far. I believe that digital avatars is going to change the foundation of media companies for the future. It's going to be a way for traditional media to communicate with the younger generations on the level that the younger generations understand. I'll get into that a little more, but I do believe that digital avatars serve purposes across the board. In particular, when you go onto a bit of a higher cinematic level with the digital avatars, you're going to be able to create, or we are creating content that is unlike anything ever seen in the past. So what exactly are we doing? We are connecting motion capture, special effects, artificial intelligence, and VR to create these incredible digital avatars. So I'll give you an example of where an avatar could be used. Now, keep your mind open, use your imagination as much as you'd like, but this is a simple example, especially for everyone today who's esport oriented. So when a commentator interviews the gamers, which that is rather old fashioned in our opinion, it's been a format that's been around forever. You have the camera crew, you have the interviewer, and then you have the subject being interviewed. Imagine well, let's just keep going here. So imagine gamers doing interviews live as their character in the game. So rather than the interviewer speaking with the gamer, the interviewer is speaking with the gamer's gaming persona, or the interviewer as an incredible avatar of their choice. This will bring the production value up and takes a step further into the future. So if you want to have a fun example, if we take a look at the bull, let's say the bull is the gamer, and anytime the interviewer asks the gamer about the opposing team that they'll be playing in the tournament, we can have a program to where the bull's eyes turn red and smoke and fire start to come out of the nostrils of the bull. Those are the types of special effects and qualities that will bring up the production values substantially, and to a level of where I believe the younger generations are demanding, and will absolutely demand in the near future. And better yet, imagine the interview taking place inside of the game. So the interviewer is meeting the gamer and speaking with the gamer's avatar. The gamer can walk around the game and explain, what they've been doing, what they've been practicing. They can give details about the game that a lot of people might not know who don't spend that much time in it. It's just a very exciting and fresh way for this interaction that has been taking place for a while now, to take that step into the future. The old-fashioned way of commentating is quickly turning subpar compared to quality of the games, which is a very realistic fact. I know we want something more entertaining, so that's exactly what we're doing. It's also perfect for streamers that want their identities hidden, or because it's just simply more fun to be a digital avatar when streaming. With the special effects that we can apply to this, again, the example of the bull and the smoke and fire coming out of the nostrils and the eyes turning red, all of this can be programmed for anybody who wants to use the digital avatars and just have fun with it. And this, of course, means that the avatar conversion is live. So this allows for live commentating and discussions directly from and with the avatars. So, for example, if we're at a tournament, we have the commentators talking about the tournament, and they want to turn on live chats with the viewers, and the viewers can speak directly with these avatars. These avatars don't necessarily, or of course, they don't need to be sitting in the arena. They don't even need to be sitting in the same room with this technology. But this these live conversations are such an important part to the way that any news anchor, anybody in the future is going to be able to keep the audience engaged. So we feel strongly that our software for digital avatars is the future in esports, social media influencers for sure, news channels absolutely, and any other media with live commentating. Without supporting this new type of entertainment, companies will become irrelevant. The production value must be what younger generations expect. And that's so important that we are providing this for the future of reaching these audiences. The news, for example, a lot of these audiences are not, the younger audiences are not following the news. Brexit was a great example of that, and just the surprise within the younger generations. The younger generations don't necessarily want to listen to a news anchor sitting behind a desk in a suit and tie. They would much rather listen to a news anchor whose head pops off, and if he gets pissed off. You understand my point. So what's great about the avatars is that our AI deep learning tool can scrape for content, and a lot of the times the avatar, the news anchor, the streamer, if they want us to create a commercial for them or something like that, they don't even have to do it. Our technology will just use the content that we've scraped from the past 10, 15 years. And another great thing about the avatars, they're never sick. They're never going to reply with a smart ass remark unless you want them to. They are always on time. They're ours to work with how we want to. And of course, all of this content is supported on 2D screens, and for an incredibly impactful experience, it must be viewed in VR. The content on the screens is hysterical and pushes the boundaries, pushes the technology. Once that is inside of VR, it's a whole new world. So it'll be very exciting to watch as the VR trend grows, to watch that growth move from people viewing it on their computer screens to making the transition to watch this in virtual reality. And so that's why I think that our model is perfect to, as we've done for the past 5-6 years, to be on the trend of the hardware and the progress with the hardware. And now that trend, as we've seen in the last year, is going from progress of hardware to growth within user numbers and progress within content, such as Half-Life Alyx. So we're simply working behind the scenes on these trends and staying in line with it. The point being is that when it's viewed in VR, it's unlike anything that can be viewed on a 2D screen. So we are very excited to show the world the first esports tournament hosted by avatars in the coming months. And that will obviously be viewed at home. The avatars will be seen on the computer screens as well as in the tournaments. If you are interested in knowing how using avatars might fit into your endeavors, to engage the younger audiences, you can contact me. I will respond and happily go through this with you and explain a little bit more about what we're doing and where we're heading with all of this. And yeah, let's change the world with better content and amazing technology.
Robert, thank you very much for this presentation on VR and influencers. I do agree with you that today everything is going more into virtual reality and avatars. And I believe what you're suggesting is a real new opportunity for the influencers, because not only they can tap into the audiences that are over the social media platform, but now we have seen also a great increase in the sales of VR headsets and more communication happening through headsets and so much. So it can also help them a lot in that sense.
Absolutely. No, it's very exciting. It's very exciting to see where it's going to take off in esports as well, and the way that the gamers, the commentators, everybody are going to use avatars in the future, and we're excited to be a part of creating that. So I want to thank you very much again for having me, and yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, Robert. And at DGC, we always try to show the audiences, the developers, whoever is on the meeting platform, what is the next, what are the next steps, what are the next innovations in the gaming industry, in virtual reality, and even blockchain and games. So we are very happy to have you today, and we thank you for your time and presenting for us at DGC Live.
Thank you, Habib. You guys have a nice day.
Thank you.